What is up, good people? This is Jay, and welcome to CrypTalk, the UGG podcast show where we talk about the NFT gaming scene. And for this episode, we will be talking about the hottest topic about Axie Infinity. Nothing else, of course. It's the origin update. And joining us for this episode are these amazing guys who are not just looking good right now. Actually, how you can see everybody, right? They're all passionate about Axie Infinity. Of course, first is a casual gamer who is also into FPS games and League of Legends. He started his journey of becoming an Axie coach just this January 2022 and managed to become a head coach in just a month. On top of that, he's also an investor in the crypto scene. Here we have Ross Bradley Donato. What is up, Ross?
What's up? What's up? My name is
Ross.
Ross.
Welcome to the show. So aside from your Axie life, what's keeping you busy lately?
SE project.
Projects.
Yeah, from school, of course.
Wow.
I'm still studying.
Well, it's cool that you still have time to do all these things despite of that, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hard, but
I'm sure it is.
I'm managing.
All right, that's awesome. Good to know. Well, I heard that you're also waiting for another NFT project to be released. In fact, you're already holding their NFT. Can you tell us more about this one?
Oh, it's a Pyron NFT, and it's a god game.
A god game?
Yeah, you own a planet, and you can do stuff with it, but it's kind of new, and there's some breeding stuff. There's a lot of gameplay in this NFT, but I didn't explore it yet. I'm just holding now.
I'm sure it's going to be very interesting, being a god. Everybody wants that. Like experience at least for a day, like experience how it is, how it feels to become a god. Well, I'll definitely check this one out. So thank you for informing me about that one. Well, our second guest is a content creator that is making his mark on various social media platforms such as YouTube and TikTok. He's one of the resident coaches of the United Gamers Guild and has been braving the arena for quite some time now. Ace Daniel Garata. Well, hello, Ace, and welcome to the show.
Hello everyone, my name is Ace Daniel. I'm a coach at UGG.
Awesome. So how are things going for you so far, Ace?
Quite hard, but still striving and keep grinding at all times.
Yes. Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm sure. Grind lang, syempre. Panindigan natin yung ace lang malakas.
Yes.
All right, and are you enjoying your journey so far as a content creator?
Yep. I'm enjoying creating contents, creating gaming contents, like especially in Minecraft. That's my favorite playing. That's my favorite game, and creating contents at that game. And I'm also like. I'm sorry po kung hirap po mag-English eh.
It's cool. Let's go Tagalog tayo.
Mahilig din po ako mag-edit ng mga videos, and yun lang po. Gawa lang po ako ng contents, at na-enjoy ko naman po yun pag gawa ng contents. Kahit po Minecraft lang po yung nilalaro ko. And yun lang po.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Ace, it will never be Minecraft lang because Minecraft has a huge following. It has a huge audience, and I am sure pwedeng maging venue itong Minecraft para mas makilala ka pa at mas dumami pa yung mga fans mo. All right, and now he is known as the king of backdoor, and we've seen him compete here and there, and we all know what he can offer us skill-wise. Well, here to join us is Meiji with that smiling face. What is up, bro?
Bakit mo mag-king of backdoor naman yung content lang yun. Huwag kayo masyado mapagpapaniwala sa ina-upload ko. Magaling talaga ako maglaro ng Axie. Ginagawa ko para sumaya.
For the vlog, for
Okay.
the vlog.
For the vlog.
For the vlog. Pero I'm sure marami ka ng mga fans na talaga nakaka-appreciate kung ano ang nagagawa mo in terms of yung gameplay sa Axie Infinity. Well, as I've said, we've seen you on multiple tournaments and I've heard that you just recently participated in another tournament. So how was it?
Nakaritan eh. Dapat, tawag nito nung una kasi, nung first game, sabi ko, gusto kong i-cater yung BMP. Marami kasing mga scholars na BMP, pure AAP. So sabi ko, ako i-represent ko to, BMP. Kaso nag-AAP, sabi ko, lats, hindi kaya. Ginamit ko ngayon yung double plant ko. So, nung game 2, panalo ako. Nung game 3, dapat panalo na rin. Kaso nag-crit. So, ibig sabihin, sa kanya talaga yun.
Right. Well, Meiji, there is something interesting about you, and I'm not really sure if a lot knows about this one already, but you used to play, or do you still play the guitar right now?
Dati na nasa Cambodia pa ako, nag-abroad kasi ako. Teacher muna talaga ako. So, sa mga nang-aasar sa akin dyan sa English, turuan ko kayo eh. Tapos ngayon, nagkaroon ng parang nagigita-gitara. Meron dong isang parang ng musician din doon sa Cambodia na, "Uy, may gig kami ba? Gusto mo jam-jam?" Ganun. So, nag-jam ako. Tapos, yun, sa bandang huli, parang nakita nila, buo tayo ng grupo. Tapos nag-apply kami sa isang bar na natanggap naman kami. Doon lang nagsimula yung journey ko sa music. Nag-lead guitarist ako sa banda namin. Four piece lang yung band namin. Wala kaming drummer. Yung drums namin, yung sa keyboard, 'di ba may drums yun. Yun lang yung drums na. Tapos i-rolling mo lang, parang ganun lang. Tapos yun, yung nagka-pandemic, wala nang mga gigs. Balik dito sa Pilipinas.
I see. So, ayun guys, to all the Axie fans out there, if you're into music, well, Eric Johnson step aside daw dahil may Eric Johnson of the Philippines na ngayon. Eto si Meiji.
Nako po, malayo-layo pa. Marami kang buhok na malalagas.
All right, so moving on to our final guest. As I've said from the previous episode, this guy is my brother from another mother, one of the biggest social media presence in the country, an Axie player and manager who has multiple investments in the crypto scene. Of course, none other than Rob Luna, fresh from the beach. What is up, Rob?
That kind of opening, ang lakas baka big time, ang lakas baka yaman, Sana true. Yeah, but anyway, I'm really excited to be part of this episode. Once again, of course, yan, yung mga bagong kasama ko dito. Hindi lang tayo dalawa, Jay, yung mag-uusap. We'll be talking more with different perspectives. So, yeah, I'm really excited on how we're gonna be talking about Axie origin, and there are a lot of things na tingin ko na pwede nating ma-open up. Like for example, there are people who would like on V2, tapos yung iba origin pa rin yung, or rather V2 yung gusto nila compared to origin. So it's a good topic to be discussed on this episode.
All right, we'll be talking a whole lot about that one. But so far, how are your investments, Rob? Because we know that you have a very diversified portfolio. So how is your investment so far?
To be transparent, I'm into stables right now. Just looking back on how crypto has been doing on the past year, I believe that May and June was the lowest, I believe. So I'm still waiting for the right opportunity to be able to jump into certain projects. And I've been eyeing a lot of projects, like for example, DeFi Kingdom, something like that, waiting for it to dip more. Cypher, games that have been popping out. And whenever I see games, the first thing I always want to check before I jump in is if there is a staking in it. If there is something that I could gain into whenever I go there and stake my coins and probably gain a passive income, then that's a good sign for me. So speaking of my portfolio right now, it's more on a very cautious part that I'm still reluctant to put something right at this point. Today is April 26, so I want to wait it out probably up until early or late June.
Right. So safe trading so far. It's just safe trading. Well,
yes.
you've mentioned a few games right there. So are there any NFT projects that you're really looking forward to in the future?
NFT projects, were those like the board punks, or is it like the NFT games?
NFT games or NFT arts? What are you looking forward to?
Hmm, probably I really want like League of Ancients, because this is the closest into the games I
Uh-huh.
used to play, like Mobile Legends.
Yeah,
So League
yeah.
of Ancients is something like I believe the first MOBA in the Web3 space. Ember Sword, and I'm really bullish into Heroes of Mavia, and
Mhm.
Guild of Guardians. Those
Uh-huh.
were the two things that I'm wishing and hoping that it could really rose into fame, just like Axie Infinity.
Right, right. Well, I'm sure a lot of people watching right now will be excited to become one of your scholars, Rob. And you guys see, Rob, maraming scholars to it.
Yeah. To be honest, I only from 15 it went down to 6.
Uh-huh.
Because I do have like scholars that only have three Axie on their team, which is like the basic 20 energy. So as we move along to Origin,
Mhm.
I believe that the lower the scholar that you have, but a better team, and rather a better, because in Origin, if we spoiler alert, in terms
Mhm.
of the runes and charms, it's better to have a better rune and charms compared to a better team right at this point. I'm not
Right.
so in order for you to get those runes and charms, you need to spend SLP because you have to craft it, and
Uh-huh.
you cannot be able to do it into numerous teams. Like if you have 100 teams right now, how would you be able to sustain all their charms and runes? So
If
medyo
they have your wallet, they'll
well,
be able to.
if I have UGG's wallet, probably, but no. No. I gotta be able to sustain. Probably the highest I can do is 6, or rather even 4, just to
Right,
be
right.
very honest with it.
Well, but you know what? Everything that we do right now, we enjoy. And that is the most important thing, right? We should all love what we do, because if we don't, then obviously the result won't be as good. Now, we've established that you all really know the ins and outs of Axie Infinity, right? And I'm sure you guys are already ahead in terms of analyzing the origin. Now, after they've launched the testing phase, they already did some adjustments or changes with the game. Okay, so can you guys give us a quick overview of what those recent changes or adjustments are? Let's kick it off with Ace.
Hindi ko pa po na-explore yung Origin kasi nakatay ko po doon po sa mobile. Pero bali dun sa impression ko po about dun sa Origin, grabe po yung mga cards, yung mga effects, and yung mechanics po lalo, laki po ng pinagbago mula dun sa P2. And sa ngayon po, napapansin ko yung mga cards is merong mga iba't ibang debuff and buffs.
Mm-hmm.
And yun, di ko po talaga napapag-aralan lahat, pero na-amaze po ako sa laking pinagbago ng mechanics mula po dun sa V2 papunta sa
Right.
Origin. Yun po.
You know what, Ace? Parang hindi ko gustong maniniwala yata na hindi mo pa na-explore yung Origins. Feeling ko, tinatago mo yung mga tactics lang sa amin para hindi makuha ng iba sa'yo eh. Well, as alam naman natin, si Ace is sa mga malulupit na coaches ng Axie Infinity. Now, how about you, Ross?
Actually, may napanood nga ako eh. If you know Spam and Rise, kasi bago magka-balance changes dito, ginagamit niya triple beast. And in Axie kasi, usually round 5 kaya mo nang tapusin sa V2. Pero in Origin, mas matagal yung gameplay na yun kaysa sa V2, compare mo sa V2. So, dahil dito, yung mga beast niya kasi may endless anger na rune, which is na-mention nga ni Sir Rob na kailangan sa mga Axie ngayon sa Origin. So, in round 3, pag na-max niya na yung rage, kaya niya nang ubusin yung 3 Axie in one turn. One turn lang. Kaya niya ubusin. So, medyo di pa balance yung Origin. Pero since nilaunch na to, yung balance update, na-reduce yung mga damage and yung mga rune, may adjustments din na naganap. So, sana mas mas mabalance pa. Kasi mahirap pa mag-ano.
Mixed emotions ka muna as of the moment.
Ang hirap pa mag-ano, like bumuo ng team.
Aha.
Kasi bago din lahat na skill, nagbago yung effects. So, it's good na nag-balance sila ngayon.
Right.
Kasi mawawala yung mga broken comps agad.
I see. Okay. Well, how about you, Meiji?
Umpisahan ko siguro sa sa graphics wise kasi gustong-gusto ko. Pero sa gameplay kasi as a streamer, dagdag entertainment kasi yung critical na yan. Nakakainis, pero minsan nakakatuwa din yung random crits na ang
Right.
daming naiinis, ang dami ring natutuwa kasi minsan panalo ka na, matatalo ka pa, or talo ka na, nag-crit ka, bigla kang nanalo. So, isa yun sa mga concerns ko kasi parang nang wala nang outplay potential sa V2. Ang meron, runes and charms outplay.
Right.
Kumbaga, ito lang yung charms mo, kakounterin ko yan ng mas magandang charms. Ganun na yung mangyayari. Palitan na lang kung sinong mas malakas. Wala ka ng outplay potential tulad ng, okay, ubusin mo yung cards mo ngayon, next round ako naman. Wala nang ganun eh. Yun yung ko sa gameplay. Next, ang naman, economically kasi speaking, mas napaganda naman. Kasi nga, walang burning mechanism sa V2 eh. Sa V3 nila magagawa. So kung sana pagsamahin nila yung entertainment factor ng V2 at tawag nito, SLP burning mechanism nila sa V3, para sa akin mas maganda. Yung cards, yung effects, walang problema dyan eh, mapag-aaralan yan eh. Pero yung the whole gameplay na tira ka na lang ng tira, alam mo yun, yung parang paano ko na nang i-stream yun? Okay, tira natin to, magbi-bleed siya na obvious naman kasi nandun sa effect ng card. Magbi-bleed naman talaga. 'Di ba? Parang wala na yung entertainment factor na, oh my god, nag-critical. Paano na natin i-cast yun? Wala na tayong maririnig na nag-critical. Wala na tayong maririnig na gano'n. So yun lang yung concern ko, yung sa entertainment side ng Vito na medyo nakakainis sa iba, pero para sa akin entertaining siya eh. Yun yung gusto ko sa Vito, yung critical na yun. Yun lang.
I see. Well, like what Ross have mentioned, there are recent changes now or adjustments regarding yung recent netong update sa Origin. What do you think about that, Rob?
For the recent, I believe there's a tons of update that had come previously since it was launched after 2 weeks. I believe they already have changes like on the revenge cards. Some of I believe, above even on some cards like Chomp. I haven't really went through with it because, to be honest, there's a part of me that doesn't want to play Origin up until to the point that it has already begun. It's like, I'd like to try it, but there's gonna be a lot of changes. Then might as well play it when it's already live. Then might as well put my time on V2 right now, since S21 will be very nostalgic for me. Since this is gonna be probably the last season that we'll be seeing V2, and hopefully it's not. Like they had to go on like season 22 alongside with Origin, but that's just wishful thinking. But in for the part of Origin that's been changes, the one that Ross did mention, there were a lot of things, and even I really agree with Meiji what Habib said regarding with the criticals. That's one of the reasons, because I did try to stream it once, and it's like textbook. What I mean about this is like you know what to do from point A to point B. There's nothing in between, right? So those were the things that the RNG are the factors that really puts entertainment into the game, and it's really very evident the pay to win is in place because of the runes and the charms. And how would you be able to attract new players if they can't be able to afford those charms, right? And I would say the closest I see is like 3 seasons of Origin. Those people that could be able to buy those mystic runes will definitely dominate, and that's where the time probably some of the casual players be able to get enough resources to be able to fight alongside. Because in V2 right now doesn't really mean that you have the best composition, is you have 100% win rate, because there's always going to be a counter over it. And I believe the meta right now is so balanced, regardless that launch meta is the number one priority of most teams, but there are certain counters with it, right? So I believe in Origin there has to be more I would say more changes. Like Major said, probably they could have like a hybrid of probably the graphics be used to V2, the gameplay of the V2 will be used on the Origin. And I really don't like the fact that the speed doesn't really matter right now. It's like the ordering of the Axie those were the things that you have to think. It's like chess, right? You have to
Right.
think two moves ahead. And in order for you to do that, and even the card counting is something that makes you think instead of just simply playing all the cards in your turn, right? Maybe that's not how they see it, but that's how I feel it, because we tried to be very competitive last season, and those were the things that even a single mistake, like you get to forget that, oh, that damage will put a last stand, and you cannot be able to push through to the next Axie to be able to get the kill. Those were detail that you have to think, but in Origin that doesn't exist.
Right. Well, I think they are still considering a lot of things right now, given that I think season 21, is it season 21, the upcoming season, will be going on for a long time right now.
2
So
months.
maybe
Yeah,
2 months, right?
2 months.
So maybe they are taking this time to like evaluate things and listen to feedbacks of the community so that they know what their next step would be. Now, there are tons of new updates, like what we've said, new additions to the Origin update, and we've actually released a video about it called UGG Pulse, and I think, Rob, you're familiar with this one, but of
Yes.
course we'd like to know your thoughts about it, just like what Meiji said earlier. So this time I'll start with Rob. So I'll start with you. What do you think about the new visuals or graphics and the new interface of Origin?
9 out of 10, because you can be able to see, well, if you get too familiarized with Axie, sometimes you really don't need to look onto the cards itself. Whenever you look at the Axie, you already know what are the card is, because you see, like, if there's a water can at the back, that's a water stock. You can be able to even look in the mouth. If it's too smiley, then probably that's a if it's too, probably it's angry, it look like a piranha. It's so smiley, why so serious? So when you get to familiarize with it, you just have to simply look. And the graphics of the Origin is so evident that you can be able to distinguish which card he is using, and even the eyes and the ears, right?
Right. Yes. We'll
So
get
9
more
out of
into
10
that.
for me. Yeah.
9 out of 10. Wow. Well, for me, it was actually very nostalgic, like what I've said with the UGG Pulse video. It's very nostalgic. I don't know why, but it reminds me of, the first Plants vs. Zombies. It reminds me of that. So whenever I see the Origins, it feels very nostalgic for me. So what about you, Ace? What can you say about the new visuals, graphics, and the new interface?
Yung about sa graphics po, yung lalo na po yung na-miss po ako doon sa animations po. Grabe po yung animations, napaka-unique po kumpara po sa iba pang games na mga card games. And yung animations po ng Axie sa V2 papunta sa Origin is malaking pagkakaiba. Kasi yung napansin ko na dun sa Origin is ma-appreciate mo talaga yung graphics, lalo na yung mga binabato mong cards. Mas cute pa yung mga Axie kumpara dun sa V2. Para sa akin, kasi talagang napaka-unique ng mga detalye bawat cards ng Axie, lalo na yung mga back cards and forward cards para sa akin. And lalo na yung eyes, kasi nadagdag na yung mga skills ng eyes, pati yung ears sa Origin. And yun. Tsaka yung UI ng Axie is may kita mo dun sa top right corner, yun talaga yung pagbabasehan mo kung ilan yung energy ng kalaban, ilan yung cards na parang may varnish, tama ba? Kung tama ako na varnish, yung kung ilan yun na varnish na yung ganun. And yun lang po. And lalo na po yung background, parang parang siya sa MMORPG na nakikita ko yung mga ganun na background, like yung mga gubat, ayun, yung mga forest things, and lalo na po yung mga entities sa adventure, yung mga monsters is grabe po yung mga pinagbago kumpara dun sa mga sa dito, yung parang mga yung slime, pati po yung yung bato, and yun lang po.
Si Trend Protector nandun eh.
You mentioned yung background. I'm sure Meiji and Rob, you guys are familiar with this. I'm not really sure if familiar si Ace and si Ross about this one, but parang heavily inspired by PopCap games, the Origins. Diba? Yung PopCap games before yung Zuma, diba? Ito yung graphics niya, right?
Zuma.
Alright, so ikaw, how about you, Ross? Ikaw, what can you say about the visuals, graphics, and the UI?
Start off sa UI. Actually, ang ganda nga ng ginawa nila kasi pag bagong install lang sa'yo yung Axie, bibigyan ka nila ng guide, tutorial sa lahat ng buttons and functions bago ako makalaro. Ina-explain nila doon. And then for the art, para sa akin compare sa V2, mas naging siya, sharpened or aggressive. Kasi sa V2 parang basic lang yung art style niya. And then dito sa Origin, there's may dragon pa. I'm not sure, sorry. Pero mas nagbago yung mga animal kasi dati slime, bato, and Junjar. Ano pa ba? Ayun. Pero ngayon may mga gypsy na sumasabi, mga ganyan-ganyan.
Yeah.
Waka-waka.
Pero overall, gusto ko yung art ng Origin ngayon compare mo sa V2. Art lang.
Art lang. All right. So that is a statement that we'll get back on later on. Pero since mukhang na-inspire si Meiji dun sa dance moves mo how about you, Meiji? Any thoughts about, yun nga, kanina nabanggit mo na about visuals, graphics, and the interface. So what are your thoughts about it right now? And kung meron ka bang dance din for us?
Pero ang description ko lang sa graphics ngayon, parang dati siya, SpongeBob na ginawa mong anime adaptation. Alam mo yun?
I see.
Parang ganun lang yung pinaka-description ko lang. SpongeBob siya dati, sobrang cute, tapos biglang ginawang anime adaptation. Ang astig na. So ganun lang yung pinaka ko. Thoughts ko sa graphics niya.
Alright.
Parang mas naging aggressive.
Aggressive. So parang mas edgy
I mean
for you guys ngayon.
Yes.
Parang edgy. Mas edgy ngayon yung graphics niya. Well,
competitive talaga.
That's true. Well, we've been playing Axie for quite some time now, considering it's actually only mouth, and ito lang yung kino-consider natin before, di ba? Mouth, tail, back, and horn. And kanina may mga glimpse na mukhang init na init kayong pag-usapan natin to. But with Origins, we now have to consider an additional two body parts, the eyes and the ears. So what are your thoughts about that one? Let's start with Meiji.
Napanood ko yung UGG Pulse ni Sir Rob Ang ganda ng idea niya na yung mga floor axis dating pang energy lang. Possible na maging kapaminabang ngayon
Right.
Pwedeng tignan mo yun. Baka mamaya yung eyes tsaka ears nun maging competitive na sa arena. Na dati pang energy lang natin, nabili lang natin ng magkano lang, 600 pesos lang dati. Floor axis, pala mo. So yun yung magandang doon na nangyari na yung pati yung eyes tsaka ears nilagyan na ng cards. Kumbaga, sobrang lawak ng variety ng team. Hindi na siya magpo-focus lang sa isang meta. Sobrang daming magiging meta ngayon na ang dami kasing competitive na guild pagdating sa leaderboards So, sure ako na sa bawat season na yan, hindi pwedeng isang team lang. Tulad ngayon, lunch team. Yun na. And the rest. Parang gano'n. Lunch team and the rest. Yung meta ngayon. Parang gano'n na yung nangyayari sa V2. Pero dito sa V3, doon naman papasok yung talagang, dahil nga bago yung game number 1 at yung eyes at ears pumasok, dito talaga natin na walang magiging isang team na OP lang. Yung siya lang talaga mag-i-stand out sa lahat sa buong season. Kasi sobrang daming parts na kailangan mong i-consider. Yun.
Right,
Parang
right.
exciting din.
How about you, Rob?
Yeah, I totally agree with Meiji. Like, I believe I watched a stream from Jeff Tam. He's part of from Sky Mavis. He actually mentioned that there were a lot of Axies that hasn't been bred yet because of the eyes and ears utility. Like, for example, the double leaf bug, the leaf bug on, I believe that was the horn card, then as well with the ears, something like that. Both leaf bugs hasn't been bred yet for the longest time, and with the utility of the leaf bug, it's something like was considered OP during the time. So like what Meiji did mention earlier, is like I bought last February like a random Axies that I don't really know if it's gonna work.
An energy Axie.
Energy Axies.
Yeah.
And I believe Axies right now are on the lowest of the low in terms of prices, right, in the energy, and might as well, if you would like to be if you're watching this and you would like to prepare yourself on Origin, might as well get those Axies that had 0 breeds. Regardless, you're gonna be buying energy Axie anyway, so might as well get the 0 breed and just hope for the best that it can be useful when Origin comes. And if it's not, then well, you didn't lose anyway because you just simply want to buy it for the energy on its purpose. But if it goes up during that time, then you're actually saving yourself some bucks into buying it on the premium when Origin launches, literally. So yeah, it's gonna be a win-win situation. So yeah, I mean, there are tons of things that you can do right now, and like on the market, say when everyone is neglecting or reluctant on to getting into the game, and that's the time you would like to push it because the prices are low, right? So if you're really bullish on Axie Infinity, doesn't really matter if it's Origin or V2, things will get better over time.
Right. Well, with what you've said, actually, I like that thinking. I have that same mentality with this another NFT game that I am with. The moment that the token dips, instead of creating FODs, instead of worrying, look at it as an opportunity, all right? An opportunity to grow, or maybe a great opportunity to come in. Because comparing what you will be shelling out or investing to those that have invested on the all-time high, it's like miles apart. So I would rather have that type of mentality than, be fearful about it, because after all, we've all invested, or we have the intention of investing, so might as well be positive about it, right?
Lagi ko rin naririnig yan sa mga sa mga crypto expert. Buy deep, sell high.
Right.
Buy high, sell
Napapabay high, sell low eh.
Right.
Diba?
Every single time.
Totoo. Parang naging sakit na yata yan ng karamihan eh. That's why maraming galit na galit. If you go into Discord servers of these specific NFTs, you will know yung mga bumili ng all-time high na hindi pa naka-ROI. Because galit talaga sila. All right, so how about you, Ross? What are your thoughts about these two additional body parts?
Actually, goods na nadagdag sila kasi dati pang ano lang sila let's say aqua and bird part. Dagdag lang sila sa speed ng Axie. And if you want a beast or bug, maybe moral. And ngayon, I think in breeding Axies, mas mahirap na gumawa ng Axie ngayon kasi i-consider mo na yung eyes and ears eh. Specific na eh. Unlike dati, hahanap ka lang kung bird or aqua yan sa bilis na yan. So, para sa akin, mas magandang nadagdag sila ngayon. Mas mapapabreed yung mga tao para magawa yung ideal Axie na gusto nila makuha. And ano pa ba? Yun nga, nasabi niyo yung presyo ng Axie ngayon, nasa marketplace nga ako $14 floor price. So,
wow!
Malay mo, nandito na pala yung meta pag dumating na yung Origin, di ba?
Right, that's true. Actually, I have one. I bought one quote-unquote energy Axie before, we call it chops back then, right? Nung hindi pa sobrang uso yung arena teams, di ba? This was back then na sobrang sikat ng AAP. It was the Aqua Supremacy time. The chops are used for energies. Now I have this one chops that has a potential to become very useful pagdating sa Origin. So yan, maganda yung sinasabi ni Ace ngayon na tignan nyo na yung marketplace, di ba? Malay nyo nga, andyan na ang opportunity.
So yun lang para sa akin. As much as possible, check nyo muna, medyo pag-aralan yung new eyes and ears. Lahat sila may sariling card effects. So, basa muna bago mag-grade.
Ayan, alright. Research daw muna.
Just to add it in, it's really hard to breed right now because the breeding cost is far more expensive than the Axie itself. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So it's not a good idea to breed Axies for Origin right now because there are gonna be a lot of changes over time. 2 months for V2, so you just really have to wait in order for you to, well, if you're a YOLO-ish type of investor, then you might as well breed right now. But I really suggest that you have to wait it out.
Yeah, that's true. Because aside from the costing that you've mentioned, we have to consider the mutation as well. And, the mutation is a big pain. It's a
Yeah.
huge pain in the behind, man. That mutation. That's why I agree. I totally agree with what Rob said. Instead of breeding as of the moment, why not just buy?
Mhm.
You can actually choose the Axie that you want by buying. With breathing, you can't avoid these uncertainties, you know. So, all right. So, going back to the question, how about you, Ace? What are your thoughts about yung eyes and ears na naidagdag ngayon?
Magiging komplikado po yung magiging meta sa Origin kasi parang siyang puzzle para sa akin kasi may possible na yung eyes and ears is di ba sa disable sword parang may mga shop siya na kung ano yung cards na pag disable matatawag siyang disable sword pero sa eyes and ears meron ako nakita doon na merong possible na magkaroon ng Axie na nagbibigay siya ng weak effect sa mga Axie. Kumbaga yun nga, parang siya magiging puzzle sa breeding kasi kung ano yung possible na yung mga chops talaga yung maghari dun sa Origin. Sabi nila nung bago pa lang ilabas yung Origin, possible na maghari daw or maging meta yung mga pure Axis. And para sa akin hindi totoo yun. Kasi yung napansin ko doon sa Eyes and Ears nga, yung mga chop kapag possible na kapag yung chops yung breed mo, tapos maganda yung cards na i-breed mo or na-print doon. Yun yung parang possible na maghahari talaga. Kasi grabe yung halimbawa doon sa may sa Pure Axis, may napansin ako doon sa ears and eyes and ears na yung little owl and parang nutcrack. Kung ilan yung nutcrack mo, yun din yung bonus damage na maibibigay ng Axie yun.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure. Go
So, para sa akin, goods nga din yung pure. Kasi all of the Axie types, lahat ng eyes nila, meron silang tawag doon, they can draw a card. So, let's say, pure aqua gamit mo. There's an eye part in which you can draw any aqua card in your draw pile. So, bali pag nagamit mo, bawal mo na kunin yon unless nag-reset na yung card mo. So, I think, goods or napaganda pa rin ng mga pure Axie dito sa Origin.
Kaya siguro nila nasabi na parang magiging meta yung pure Axie dahil sa potential points. Meron na kasing potential points na Axie.
Sa charms, right?
Oo. Pagka hindi ganun kataas yung potential points mo, hindi mo kayang ikarga si runes and charms. Limited yung potential points mo. Halimbawa, ang gusto mong charm worth 10 potential points, 8 lang tong Axie mo kasi hindi ganun ka-pure yung mga nag-add na cards sa kanya para magtumas yung potential points. Hindi mo makakarga kung gusto mong runes na charms na dito sa Axie na to dahil dun sa potential. Kaya nasabi nila na magiging meta yung pure Axies dahil dun sa potential points.
Now that is very interesting. We are getting, guys, multiple POVs in terms of these additional parts sa Origin. So I'm sure it is very exciting. Actually, talking to you guys about it made me more excited about it than before. Yeah. Seriously. Well, aside from those body parts, they've also introduced new cards with Origin. Now, you've already gave us a glimpse of your thoughts, but do you think that this will make the game more fun, or will it be more challenging, or both? What do you think, Rob?
Challenging at its best because it really takes time for you to be able to get used to it. That's how I see it because I'm really still used on how these cards are being used on V2. So if probably I just really have to play Origin for like a month or so in order for me to get a grasp on how does it really work, which one is working. Like the POVs of AS, Mage, and Ross earlier is like having a pure Axie could actually benefit you through the runes and charm. Meanwhile, for Ace, there's gonna be probably an Axie that could be able to get used to being a chops. Like he could be able to use multiple charms on different types of like a hybrid in between a beast and a reptile, and who knows if that's gonna work, right? So probably in a team you could be able to have like 2 pure and 1 utility Axie. That's a possibility. So yeah, I guess there's so much to learn on Origin, and really have to give it more time for us to be. It's like I'm not I'm not saying I'm not gonna be playing it. It's still gonna be Axie Infinity, and there's no. Well, we are on the point like, do we have a choice, right? Do we have a choice? We already placed our bets on Axie
Right.
Infinity. It's not
Right.
like, okay, I don't like Origin, I'm gonna sell my Axie. No, you wouldn't. You know that Axie Infinity will create more games aside from the
Mhm.
Origin and the V2, because that's the
Mhm.
reason why the Ronin blockchain is there, right?
Right.
They're onboarding developers to be able to create more games under the Axie Infinity ecosystem. So yeah, I believe, Jay, I just need to have more time into playing it to be able to know all the nuances of this new version of Axie Infinity.
Right. How about you, Ace? Do you think it'll be more challenging, more fun, or both?
Both po, kasi pansin ko na yung mga cards, may mga cards na may pang-asar talaga, like may pang-discard, may pang-disable, yun. And may mga cards na parang 3 beses tumitira, parang juggling balls, gano'n. Base doon sa energy, nakikita ko. Then, may mga cards doon na parang nagsasaman ka ng entity. Like yung
Yeah,
unang
Little Robin.
Yep. Parang
Si Robin, yan.
And yun lang po. Yun lang po yung
Alright.
napansin sa cards.
Thank you. How about you, Meiji?
Ako kasi nga big fan ako ng Axie, so sa side ko talagang exciting siya. Pero kung ilalagay ko yung sarili ko sa mga scholar, maaasar na naman yung mga yan. Panibagong aaralin. Ngayong V2, kahit nakapikit yung mga yan, titira yan, alam na nila di ba?
Right.
Kahit nakapikit nila, alam nila gagawin. Dito sa V3, manager, teka lang, mababa muna ako ngayon. Aaralin. Alam mo yun, panibago, para ka back to zero na naman.
True.
Lalo yung mga naka-cellphone na hindi pa may explore yung V3 sa ngayon, although alam ko pa siya in progress pa siya, pero work in progress, pero pwede mo nang malaro sa PC. Paano kung naka-cellphone ka lang? So pag final release nila, saka ka palang, manager, paano to? Pwede silang manood sa mga streamer, pero iba pa rin yung actual na lalaroin mo yung laro na mapapractice mo siya, di ba? Kaya para pag nilalagay ko yung sarili ko sa mga scholar na mag-aaral, lalo yung mga naka-cellphone, parang, oh my God, ito na naman. Yun
Right.
lang.
Oo. Well, I'm sure I agree that it will be more challenging talaga, especially to the scholars who are, grinding, and yung may mga quota, di ba? Is it really applicable still up to now, the quotas, or hindi na?
Yeah.
In my case, yeah, ako din, same with Rob. My scholars doesn't have any quotas anymore.
What I do is like I just want them to maintain a certain MMR.
Yeah.
If you can
That's
be able
right.
to maintain that certain MMR, it doesn't really matter if it goes up, if it's go down, or in terms of SLP, as long as you at least finish half of it within the day. Because since I already have less scholars, they have more energies, because I pulled out all the Axie from the previous scholars to be able to put it into a single account. So most of them were like into the 60 to 40 energies. So, well, basically they were close friends. So they just have to tell me that I cannot be able to play this account because we are on vacation. Well, it's summer. You don't want to have them playing when they were enjoying themselves, right? So
Right.
yeah, just definitely, I just want them to hold a certain MMR, and I'm happy with it.
All right. So going back to Ace, Ross this time. What do you think? These new implementations, do you think it'll be more fun or more challenging for you?
Both. I think both. Let's say from a perspective of someone who can buy Axies, you have the chance to buy an Axie with the skills that you want, right? Yung pwedeng, kanyari, ay, inabuo ako, magandang team to. So, for me, it will be fun. Pero, as you said nga, guys, for the scholars na kung ano lang Axie mo, ito lang yan, medyo mahirap pa nga talaga. Kasi, aaralin mo pa matcha-challenge ka and different comps pa yung mga kalaban mo pag naglaro ka na ng arena. So, for me, both talaga. Masaya naman siya pag inaaral.
Alright. Well, as I've said earlier, we've already established that everybody here plays Axie for quite some time now. So I think it's just safe. It's safe for me to call you guys Axie veterans, right? So as Axie veterans, what do you think should be the first thing that the player should pay attention to in Origins? Meiji.
Mukha talagang veteran. Sa noo pa lang eh. Noo pa lang eh. Veterano to. Marami ng gera na pagdaanan yung noo mo.
Sorry, Daddy Mitch. That's the highlight of the show, man.
Right.
Ayun, siguro kung bago akong same ng approach ko sa V2. Aaralin ko yung team comp ko, aaralin ko yung team comp ng mga nakakalaban ko. Basic yan. Hindi pwedeng sarili mo lang na timang export ako rito tapos pag may nakalaban kang bagong team, ano yan?
Right.
Diba? So yun lang yung basic knowledge lang na kasi yung mga counting ng energies andyan na lahat eh. Hindi na tulad ngayon na 'di ba, huhulaan mo pa yung kaya energy nito. Nandiyan na lahat na yan. Nasa screen mo, natitignan mo na lang. Pero para sa akin, ang biggest challenge ngayon, aralin yung team mo at aralin yung mga teams ng kalaban na nakakalaban mo sa MMR mo. So yun lang siguro muna.
I see. How about you, Ace? If bagong player to, tapos papasok pa lang sa Origins, what do you think yung first na dapat nilang kino-consider?
Aralin po yung about sa mga cards and effects po. Kasi yun po talaga yung malaking pinagbago ng Axie. Para lalo na nadagdag pa po yung mga ears and eyes. And aralin niyo po yung about dun sa halimbawa, hindi na sa Axie V2 kasi kaya mong pag-aralan yung predictions eh. Sa Origin hindi mo na mag-predict eh. Kasi bato ka lang ng bato, ganun. And yun, pati yung yung mga buffs and debuffs, kung ano ba yung effect dun sa isang Axie. Yun talaking yun dapat pag-aralan. Kasi bilang lang yung para sa akin bilang na yung kabisado na yung debuffs and buffs sa B2 eh. Sa Origin na lang talaga kasi dami na pinagbago. May mga bleed, may weakness, ganun. And yun lang po.
Alright. Thank you. How about you, Ross? Ikaw, palagay mo, any tips dun sa mga plano, nagpaplano pa lang na papasok, tapos Origin kaagad yung papasukin nila? Ano ba yung mga first na dapat nilang ginagawa?
Starter team. Let's say, bago ka lang talaga sa Axie, wala pang balak magastos. Bibigyan naman ni Axie na starter team. So, for that, I think laruin niyo muna yung adventure with the starter Axies, and then aralin niyo yung laro dun. Just play the game. And then after that, let's say you want a different team now or different Axie. Kaya nga na, mag-aaralin mo na yung mga cards and their effects. Then after that, watch some streamers as well. And mas madami kasing knowledge, diba? Since nag-stream sila, inaaral din nila yung laro, pwede ka sumabay sa kanila. So, I think that's all na pwede masabi.
Alright. Well, Rob, you have multiple experience with different games, even in the pro scene. So, in your opinion, what do you think these interested people should consider first before getting into Origin?
Yeah, well, some of them were being mentioned by my colleagues like Is, Ross, and Meiji. Well, for me, there were three things. Number one is just like Ross did mention, Origin you will be given starter pack. Sila Olek, Boba, I forgot the other names of those starter Axie. And those were decent, and I really feel bad when I played Origin at first because I lost to starter teams with the team that I've been using on V2. So I felt so bad. Yeah, and even Olek, I can be able to withstand how formidable Olek was. Then that's number one. Try to play it and just try to get the vibe on how you really think it is. Then secondly is I would say not look at the streamer. Probably let's go for the second would be on the runes and charms. All right, because if there's a certain meta team, that doesn't mean that you could be able to use it. It's like you're gonna be crafting. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if you craft and you didn't get the exact runes and charms that certain player is using, you cannot be able to copy on how he actually plays, right? So first, you have to craft on your own and see what do I have on my arsenal. All right, I have like a reptile and a dusk. And the streamer that I've been looking is using aquas. So meaning to say, you cannot be able to use the same strategy he's been using because you were not given the same runes and charms. Now, third, probably you have to look for someone that has the same as yours, so you can be able to see how does it work on them, right? And I do believe that runes and charms are gonna be NFTs, so you can be able to sell it, right? So for me, my main strategy in going into Origin, regardless if you're a veteran or a star or a beginner, is just really wait. If you get to craft the runes and the charms, and just work with what you have. Don't try to copy those successful streamers or successful players, because you don't have the same capability in terms of what they have, right? So you work with what you have right now, make it work. If it doesn't work, then find a way to be able to create the team that's gonna be working for you on what you are given. Well, that's for me. Hopefully that helps you guys. So yeah.
Well, I'm sure everything that you guys have mentioned will be very helpful to our viewers right now. I mean, we have 4 amazing Axie players here with us right now. So if I were you guys, I'll grab a pen and just write everything down right now. Seriously, this is one of the most informative CrypTalk episode that we've had. So anyway, every new season, well, at least recently, we see some cards get buffed or nerfed. And now with that, we also have to make adjustments in terms of our lineup. Now with Origin, will changing your lineup be more complicated than before?
Yes.
Of
100%.
100%.
100%.
Bago eh. Lahat damay.
All right.
Yes.
So for you guys, talagang complicated to ngayon. Sige, let's start with Meiji this time. How complicated do you think it will be compared to V2?
Number 1 sa budget. Yun ang main concern ko dyan. Kasi di ba, paano kung na-buff yung pinag-ipunan mong income kasama na ng Mystic Charms? Paano na yun? Di ba? Kailan ka makabawi doon sa pagpa-farm? Na nerf. Tapos, kung sakali man na ang isang season ay tumagal ng gantong ilang buwan, gano'n siya naging effective all throughout the season para tumaas yung win rate percentage mo na kumbaga mabawi mo agad. So, yun yung first concern ko dyan. Siyempre, pera yung involved sa gantong mga NFT games. So, ang concern lagi ng iba, paano ko makaka-ROI eh.
When
That's
ROI.
true.
When ROI.
Di ba ROI
ROI
lagi
when,
nila eh.
yeah.
Ang advice ko nga lagi sa kanila, pag papasokin kayong NFT games, make sure na papasokin mo yan dahil number 1, nai-enjoy mo muna yung laro. Hindi mo na yung... Kasi kung bumaba o tumaas yung coin yan or token yan, as long as nai-enjoy mo yung laro, hindi mo na mapapansin yung up and down, yung dip at saka yan ng token niya. Kasi na-enjoy mo yung laro eh. Uy, malalaman mo, yan taas na ulit pala. Palit na ako, di ba? Di mo mararamdaman eh. Kung itong sa Axie Origin, magkakaroon ng nerf. Although alam ko meron naman seasonal at non-seasonal na Mystic at na runes and charms eh. Ibig sabihin, merong mawawala after ng season. Ibig sabihin, burado na na-farm mo na yon. At meron din nag-i-stay na mga runes and charms. So depende siguro kung mas marami kang na-farm or na-craft na seasonal, ibig sabihin, mas mapapaikot-ikot mo yon. Ma-nerf to. O try ko kaya tong ibang charm na to or runes na to kasi non-seasonal siya. So kung swerte ka sa crafting, puro non-seasonal, di ba? Paano kung puro seasonal yung naka-craft mo? Mabuburo na siya next season, o paano na yung ginastos mong SLP?
Te-text na lang natin si Rob pagdating dyan sa budget. Rob, medyo na short ng onte, bro eh. Well, all right, so let's go to you, Rob. How about you? What do you think?
I couldn't agree with more. I really don't know. I mean, for Axie, it's gonna be really a long waiting game for Origin. I mean, I don't want to dive in too much. I just would. I'm a type of person. Well, at least I've learned from the longest time that I would like to wait first, but not too long. Right? So I like did mention Mages did said number 1 is you really need to enjoy it first Because if you're just looking on when ROI, when will SLP pumps, and might as well you go to trading. Don't go into the NFT gaming scene.
Right.
Because gaming has to be gaming itself, regardless of its pumps or if it donks, because you really believe in the game. So that I believe that's the first mindset that you have to put into yourself right now. That you really like to play this game because you love the mechanics, everything within it, and just the monetary is only secondary. And if it's the other way around, then might as well hold it for the meantime, or probably put only enough cash or money that you're really willing to lose. If it's not, then might as well hold it and just simply watch.
Right. All right. So you heard it from the man himself. Now, let's go to Ace. For you, sa tingin mo ba, yung changing ng lineup mo for V2 and yung changing ng lineup with Origin ay anong mas complicated for you?
Yung pagpapalit po ng team, kasi maraming mababago. Actually, marami pang dynamic changes na magaganap bago i-launch yung Origin. So, talagang enjoy mo muna dapat laruin eh. Bago ka magbigay ng anong gagamitin mo na team, kailangan pag-aralan mo na lahat. Talagang i-enjoy mo na dapat talaga eh. Nasabi na po ni Sir Rob and ni Sir Meiji. And as nandun na po lahat yung sagot ko sa kanila.
Right.
And
Right.
yun lang po.
Yeah, so for you, parang ano mo talaga, no? You have to like enjoy the game and do your research, learn more about it, and then complications will always be there. But with those things in mind, at least it'll be easier, right? Is that what you're trying to say, Ace?
Yes po.
All right. Okay. So how about you, Ross? Complications, man. What do you think?
Yeah. Pagdating sa team comp, may isang mawala. Mahirap na yan. Kailangan mo mag-adjust. Let's say me, scholar lang kasi ako eh. Example ko lang yung dati. Kunyari kasi pag nangihingi ako ng Axie sa manager ko, sabi ko, sir, pwede ibenta mo to sa account ko para magamit ko. So let's say magagamit ko na nga siya. Then may team comp na buo. Di sayang naman pag nabenta nga. May nakakuha. Di mag-strategize ulit ako. Mag-iisip ulit ako ng bagong comp para dito sa current team na meron ako. So for me, it will really be complicated pag nagpalit ka ng Axie sa team mo. Magbabago yung gameplay mo, kung magiging passive ka ba or mas aggressive towards your enemy. So yun lang po.
All right.
Kasi wait lang, sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
kasi
cool,
mostly
cool.
kasi wait. Kasi mostly kasi nabanggit na nila Sir Rob and Sir Meiji yung mga ano. So nag-focus ako sa mismong pag may napalitan pa dun sa team comp mismo. Sorry.
I see. Yeah. Well, that's great. At least, diba, as I've said earlier, different POVs yung nakukuha natin dito. So I'm sure our viewers will be benefiting from everything that you guys have been sharing kanina pa. Ayan. All right. So what can you tell us about your ranking experience naman with this new update? For those of you guys who've tried playing Origins, diba meron ng ranking this time? So what can you tell us about it? Meiji.
Hindi ko pa kasi nag-grind lang yata ako, hanggang bore lang yata yung yung rank na ginawa ko. Pero maganda yung meron ng tier, yung mga hindi na siya number lang. Parang exciting, tsaka pwedeng source ng entertainment din kasi yung ganon. Uy, egg ka lang Sakto mo kang egg. Alam mo yun, yung parang ganon.
True.
Pero siyang source ng ganon na entertainment, yung tier nila ng mga rankings. Pero yung pag-akyat sa challenger kasi, ang napanood ko at naririnig ko, sa ngayon, since hindi ganon karami yung nagtatry ng V3, pagdating mo sa higher tier, puro bot na yung kalaban. So ang bilis umakyat ng mga players kasi puro bot na eh. Tira ka lang ng tira, panalo ka na eh. So yun lang siguro yung ma-share ko muna na sa sobrang konti ng di naman siguro konti pero hindi ganoon karami compared na pag sinama na yung mga cellphone user. Talagang puro bot muna yung arena. Karamihan sa higher tier.
How about you, Ace? Kamusta ang ranking so far with Origin?
Hindi ko pa po nararanasan maglaro ng Origin. Since mobile lang po ako. Naantay ko pa po i-release yung mobile version. Para
Are you excited
sure,
for it?
yes po, for sure cross-platform po yun, katulad po dun sa V2.
Oo.
And there will be a competition kapag lumabas na po yung mobile.
Mhm. I'm sure. I mean, I think majority of players right now, I think what's that? Oh, in it. All right. Yeah, I agree. Well, I think majority of the players right now are coming from mobile, 'di ba? Yan naman talaga ang biggest player base dito sa atin din ngayon sa Philippines. So, going to Ross this time. I think you have an experience now with Origins. Kamusta yung ranking?
Buti nga si Sir Meiji nakaabot ng bore. Ako hanggang chick 1 nga lang kaya ko dito. Hindi ako makaangat. Medyo natatalo kahit basic team yung kalaban. Actually, Terminators are good with dito sa Origin.
Nakapag-craft
Dahil sa
ka ba nung nagkaroon ng nung bug sa crafting?
Ay, yung yung tuloy-tuloy.
Pero
hindi.
alam ko, na-release nila ngayon yung lahat ng runes and charms, pwede mo nang gamitin.
Libre na lahat.
Mhm.
Libre na lahat. Pero yun nga, kahit sabi nga ni Sir Rob kanina pa yun gumagamit siya ng meta team. Then natatalo siya ng starter Axie. Parang ganun
Malalakas sila.
Medyo mahirap, kailangan talaga aralin yung Origin bago sumabak.
All right. So how about you, Rob? Is it the same with Ross? Yung experience mo with the ranking right now, since yun nga they've mentioned yung na-share mo kanina that your meta team is being dominated by these starter Axie. So ikaw, kamusta ang experience so far with the ranking?
Well, with ranking, I really love that we're not being characterized by or categorized in the 2.7 MMR, 3K MMR, because on the V2 that's how we see it, right? Like you rank yourself by hundreds, like 2K, 2.5, 3K above, something like that. So now we have specifics like egg, dragon, boar, and this is something like you could be able to like a bragging rights. I believe someone here is it Ace that been playing League of Legends? Or Ross. Is it Ross? So it's like when you're in the challenger part, or you're an emerald, platinum, or even other games, right? It really boosts up your morale if you're in that certain category, right? Like, I'm challenger ako eh. Diba? Something like that. So,
there is a certain prestige to it, right?
Yes, compared to just simply
rights.
3K MMR ako. If there's a certain call into your rank, and that's gonna be the better. And I do believe that there are gonna be something that gonna separate you, probably like a border or something like that in your name. If you finish the season challenger, it's gonna carry over to the next season. Oh my god, this is a challenger way back. So it gives you more pushing potential. I would like to push further, so next season I'll have this border. Right?
Right. Well, earlier you guys have mentioned that the difference between V2 and Origin is that right now with V2, I think it was Meiji who mentioned this one. You have the chance to get back at your opponent, right? You can do your plays, you can counterplay your opponent, right? With Origin, it's more of an almost auto type game. All right, so that was we've established that earlier. So putting everything into consideration, do you think Origin is still newbie friendly? Let's start with Ace this time.
For me, it's yes po. Kasi po, sa Origin kasi, pag magsisimula ka po or mag-start ng game, merong guide eh. Meron pong guide. Unless, di po tulad dun sa sa V2, walang guide. Kailangan mo lang mag-search sa YouTube para manood ng tutorials. And base dun sa experience ko, bago ako pumasok sa Axie Classic last year, is nag-research pa ako sa manood ng tutorials sa YouTube, ganun po, and sa TikTok rin po. And unlike po dito sa Origin, pagpasok nyo po ng game is meron na po kaagad na guide. And para mas mapapadali po yung hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa YouTube para lang paano siya gawin, paano siya laruin. And sa guide pa lang po sa pag-start po ng game is nandun na po kaagad yung simple explanation para mas madali po mag-gets ng mga manlalaro. Ganun po.
I see. All right. How about you, Ross? Aside from the how to get started part of Origins, do you think it's still newbie friendly?
Yung V2 po ba yung ano?
Origin.
Origin. Yes. Very much. Kasi it will guide you nga sa every part. Yun nga nanay ako na una trinay yung Origin kasi lahat talaga, hindi ba nila may tutorial lahat ng buttons bago ako mapaglaro. Binibigyan ka nila ng tutorial. So, Origin will be, I think, beginner friendly. Pero, pag dumating ka na sa point na arena, dun na medyo magkakakomplikasyon. Kasi, if you're just...
That is where the stress begins.
Kasi if you're going to play adventure, I think you will have fun pa using the starter axes. Unlike sa arena, iba-iba na kalaban mo.
All right. How about you, Rob?
Beginner friendly, probably. Yeah, I agree with Ross. It's like a beginner friendly in a way that you can just simply attack and use all the buttons. But if you get into the arena part wherein you really need to know certain utilities like the bleed, the secrets, the revenge cards, there I believe there are too much to learn in order for you to get into the competitive level, or at least get into the advanced level compared to V2. Because in V2, I even have 40 to 50s age bracket that's been playing V2, and they know how to play to the extent of at least 2,500 MMRs just by simply playing cancer lineups. Before, those were like the termies they could be able to play those termies way better, and those were like 43. That's my uncle. He's be able to play it well, but now he sees the Origin. It's like there's too much for me to learn, and he just simply gave this account into a scholar. So
I see.
Beginner friendly wise, not so much. That it really depends on how you look and how beginner it would be. But if you're someone that really would like to get into the challenger part, there's so much to learn, and you really have to put time into it for you to be able to grasp all the information that being laid down by Origin itself.
All right, thank you. Meiji?
Okay, yung tama yung agree ako kay Sir Rob. Parang ganito ko siya i-define. Pareho kayong first year, pero ito, V2 si first year high school lang. Si V3 first year college. Pareho kayo first year, pero magkaiba na yung level ng learnings nyo. Bakit? Sa V2, dalawa lang ang pile. Draw pile at discard pile. Sa version number 3, tatlo na. Mayroon ng banish pile. So dun pa lang, sa piles pa lang, meron ng upgraded na kumbaga additional na na mechanics na kailangan mong aralin. Pero kung parehong pagsisimulain mo, bawa newbie sa V2, newbie sa B3, maunang matututo tong B2 mas mauna niya mamamaster to kaysa dito sa B3. May cards, may 'di ba, alam mo 'yun. So okay pa rin naman, pero yun nga, mas may dagdag lang na konting kumbaga stress lang sa mga beginner.
Right. Joma, is it okay if I now try and go back to my previous camera? I think it's already charged up. All right, wait lang po. Sorry, just a minute.
Parang gusto ko umorder.
Gusto ko mag-vape kaso bawal dito. Andito si baby tulog. Sa kusina pa ako nagbe-vape.
Ang gara nung nabili kong parang binivape ko, man. Pagka sinisip-sip ko, pati yung lasa nung juice na titikman ko.
Yung liquid mismo?
Oo.
Sama. Umaangat yung juice.
Oo, umaangat yung juice.
Yung airflow niyan yung yung
problema.
Oo, airflow.
Sama eh.
Pero naman lagi. Pagka mali din yung airflow ko kasi naka Aegis ako eh. Pag mali din yung nag-overflow, naangat din yung juice eh.
Natitikman mo din
Oo. Sama pa naman, sobrang tamis na mainit.
All right.
Yarn.
I am and I think this one's better. Nagulat ako kanina. My camera was like this and then it zoomed out on its own. So na-distract ako. I actually wasn't sure if I already asked the question that I asked. Na-distract ako. Alright, so I'm ready. Sorry. We good? Okay. Or
Ay, okay na ba?
all right, now that being said, I think it's time for us to know what their opinion is or are in terms of the fate of Origin. Now, you guys have been playing Origin again for a while. Some of you have, and some of you has been subscribing or has been watching videos about it. So, what are the aspect of it that you enjoy the most? Let's start with Rob.
I believe the visual effects. That's the only thing that really it's so vibrant, and I like the fact that I could be able to use all my energy in one single turn and not even think about it. And yeah, I just gonna say it out loud that they did very well into the overall gameplay. It's just that the nuances like the cards and the thing probably I'm not sure if it's like a double-edged sword that you could be able to do everything on your own turn and just simply wait what the other player gonna do right after you. So I just miss probably the part of the V2 wherein you know how which Axie gonna be go first, which Axie gonna go last. That I missed the last stand, and I like mentioned earlier, the critical, that RNG factor. Most of the people probably doesn't like it, but for me, it's an added entertainment that I would definitely miss if it doesn't go, if it doesn't go to Origin as well.
I see. So for Rob, it's the aesthetics of the game, right? The graphics, the visuals. That is what you enjoy most. How about Meiji?
Siguro yung sa akin, parang ano na, parang itong V3 kasi mas mag-i-enjoy dito yung para mga scientist ng meta eh. Alam niyo yun, yung meta setter. Sila yung pinakauna mag-i-enjoy dito. At syempre, part sila ng community. So, maganda na pati sila yung kumbaga na mag-i-stand out ng husto dito. Tapos ngayon, ang pinaka natripan ko talaga sa dahil nga sa sobrang daming lumalabas ng NFT games na ang gaganda ng graphics. Syempre, love na love ko si Axie. Natuwa ako na in-upgrade nila yung graphics, hindi sila nagpahuli.
Right.
Parang naging proud ako, ito ngayon ang Axie ko, parang ganon. Yun lang din. Kaya agree ako kay Sir Rob na number one talaga yung graphics na competitive na siya sa mga lumalabas sa mga bagong NFT games.
I see. So 2 points for graphics now. Let's see if it'll be 3. Ross, what's your what are the aspect of Origins that you enjoy most?
Gameplay. Sorry.
Gameplay. All right.
Yeah, kasi mas bago na siya compare sa V2 na nasabi nga ni Sir Rob kanina na i-consider mo yung speed. Ngayon, no. It's your turn. 3 Axie mo pwede mong gamitin kung atake ka o hindi. So, in terms of playing, yun nga, sabi nga din ni Sir Meiji na yung magiging masaya dito yung mga gumagawa ng meta. So, madami kang i-consider sa gameplay mo. So, yung energy and yung discard, card draw, yung banish, and yung additional nga, yung pwede kang magdagdag ng card sa kalaban mo and then mabubunot nila eh. I think that's hotbot. Yung card effect niya ngayon, bibigyan ka ng 3 burn, which is a card na kunyari, nina-expect mo, nutcrack dadating sa'yo. Kasi makikita mo yun sa sa draw card mo. Pero hindi. May sinamang dami card lang doon para hindi mo makuha yung card din. For me, masaya yung gameplay ngayon ng Origin. Pero nakakamiss nga yung mga random crits kasi minsan nakakatulong.
Be careful what you wish for though. Be careful what you wish for.
Kaulan na ako ng crits mamaya sa stream ko nito.
Minsan. Alam kong palala dito. Ay, makikrit tong last na bunot na to bago humampas yung reptile ko. Yun nga, nag-crit nga, natalo ako.
Yung random crits talaga could turn things around. Like, iba talaga yan. So, okay. So we have 2 for graphics and then 1 for gameplay. How about you with with what you've seen so far, Ace? Ano yung pinaka na-enjoy mo dito sa Origin?
Anime po, yung visuals po.
Visuals.
Tulad nga po yung sinabi ko kanina, yung na-appreciate ko is yung animation po talaga ng Origin. Kasi grabe po talaga yung yung pinagbago niya di lang po siya basta NFT. Siya po yung mismo na doon ka talaga mag-enjoy na laro kumpara sa mga ibang laro na hindi NFT. Like, sana wag yung masamain na itong NFT na to, itong the best para sa akin, itong Axie. Kasi mas in-upgrade ng mga developers yung animation. And maliban pa po sa animations, nagustuhan ko rin po yung ranking system, new ranking system ng Origin. Kasi sa V2, pagbabasahin nyo lang is yung numbers. Dun sa Origin, meron siyang unique na ranking system, unique names bawat rank, like yung boar, yung egg, yung mga challenger ganun. And yun lang po.
I see. All right. So talagang there is a huge role. Graphics and the visual has a huge role in terms of the impact of Origins with everybody. Actually, even myself, I agree. Yung visuals talaga, as I've shared earlier, it made me feel nostalgic upon seeing the trailer pa lang before. What more with playing it. But, same thing with life. There are always gonna be ups and downs. Parang yung chart sa market lang yan. Yung chart ng SLP, it'll go up, it'll go down. So, you have shared the aspect that you enjoy most with Origin. Now, what are the things that you hate about it? Let's start with Rob.
What I hate about it is that I believe it took me a long time. In hindsight, I really thought that when I go into Origin, I could be able to learn it much quicker than I learned V2. Because when I jump into V2, I don't know a single thing, right? Because that's the first thing I thought I played. But since last year, July 2021, up until this point, I tried it this April, right? Origin hits this April. So that's like how many months? Like 8 or almost 10 months. And I thought that I could be able to just simply roll it out. I could be able to understand most of the things, but I'm wrong. I totally wrong that when I jump into Origin, man, this is a total different game. And I had to scrape all the things that I've learned from V2 and just simply start over. So that is probably a hate and love relationship in me in myself. It's like I hate because I was wrong, that I thought that's gonna be easy, and I love because it somehow create a burning passion of me into learning. Because at some point in V2, I right after the S20, the off season to me was like I just simply doesn't really want to play. I had my main account into Scholar because I just waiting for S21 because off season for me most of the time, and not to mention I'm not using the energy, so it just gets into waste. So now with Origin that I have so much to learn, it ignites my curiosity into creating a lot of things with it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward into how Origin gonna pan out in the next couple of months.
All right, yeah, I'm excited to what this guy will share to us, because when I mentioned hate, he instantly smiled. So, Meiji, what do you hate about it?
Ano naman, dito lang naman to sa streamer perspective. Yung i-share ko. Para sa akin kasi, yun nga, na-lesson yung entertainment parang side ni Axie dito sa V3. Nung una, visit ako sa sa critical na yan eh. Pero alam mo yun, nung nalaro ko yung V3, na-realize ko parang masaya pala siya. Masaya pala siya laruin na may critical. Tapos alam niyo yun, yung parang ilang araw, parang 3 days ko yata siyang nilaro or 4 days na dire-diretso. Ang boring talaga yung hindi ko ipagkakaila na magiging boring yung gameplay pag ganun lang ng ganun. Bakit? Ano lang defensive at offensive. Wala na. Wala nang ibang i-expect. Hindi tulad sa B2 pwede ka mag-skip. Mabibigla yung kalaban mo, bulto yung ibibigay mo. May mga ganung factor Pero sa B3 mawawala kasi 'yun. Kaya yung entertainment mababawasan. Yun yung main concern ko lang na ayaw ko as a streamer lang naman. Sa being streamer lang. Pero the rest, okay naman sa akin. Kumbaga sa streamer's perspective lang yung concern ko na ayaw ko talaga.
Right. All right. So, how about you, Ross? Is there anything that you hate about it? Origin.
Yeah, magiging contradicting ako pero the gameplay as well.
What?
Yes, I love
You
it.
hate the game. So it's like Rob, you have a love and hate relationship with the gameplay of Origin.
First of all, maganda yung gameplay but it's for the hard workers. Kasi medyo tamad daw mag-isip pag naglalaro ng Axie kasi bitaw-bitaw lang ako sa V2. Alam ko na yung mangyayari. Madali nga lang kasi yung V2 aralin, di ba? And sa Origin, yun nga, mag-iisip ka pa ng runes para sa cards mo, sa Axie mo and the charms. And unlike sa V2, pwede ka mag-skip. Dito, you have to use your cards talaga to attack or defend yourself. So, yeah, I think the gameplay of Origin is not suited for someone like me na medyo tamad maglaro na gusto bitaw-bitaw lang.
All right.
Pero
How about you?
It's better. Pero it's better for those who wants to study the game and learn to play it.
I see.
Yun lang po.
All right. Thank you. Ikaw, Ace, what do you hate about it so far? With so far sa mga nakita mo, what do you hate about it?
Hindi mo na mapipredict kung kailan siya atake. Tsaka yung kailan yung may-miss mo yung sa Origin kapag na-launch na yung Origin, for sure may-miss yung may-miss mo kung paano yung ilan yung energy ng kalaban, kung mapipredict sa B2 kasi mapipredict mo kung kailan, halimbawa sa mga jumping lasso kapag nakalaban mo halimbawa round 3 na sa B2, mapipredict mo na tatalon na siya or hindi. Sa Origin kasi hindi mo na mapipredict yun, may-miss mo yung predictions pati yung energy counting. And tsaka yung gameplay din, parang sobrang haba, sobrang tagal sa Origin kaysa sa B2. Yun lang po. The
I
gameplay
agree.
And predictions.
I agree. Now, speaking of the things that you hate about the Origin, in your opinion, guys, what do you think? What do you think are the things that they could do to improve Origins further? Let's start with the Ace this time.
Ano po ulit?
What do you think are the things na pwede pa nilang gagawin dito sa Origins to improve pa ito? Diba? We've already discussed what the things that you hate about it. Now, given the opportunity, let's say tatanungin ka ng Sky Mavis this time. What do you think are the things that we could do to improve Origins? So, ano yan sa'yo?
Yung gawin nilang fast pace yung Origin para sa akin. Kasi para sa akin, in my perspective, parang nahabaan ako sa kanya. Pag nakikita ko siya laruin ng mga streamers, parang para sa akin kasi maikli lang yung pasensya ko. Ganun. Maikli lang pasensya ko. Kasi sa B2, mabilis lang mabilis yung animations. Pero sa B3, sana mabilis yung pace ng laro. Yun lang yung talaga para sa akin. Na-i-improve ng Sky Mavis sa Origin.
I see. All right. How about you, Ross?
Actually the same. Yun nga sa V2 medyo mabilis yung gameplay. Sa V3 medyo matagal kasi mag-isip ka nga So I hope mas mapabilis sila yung timer and siguro mabilis din naman na animation Sa gameplay talaga I think mas okay pag mas mabilis yung
per turn.
Per turn.
Yeah.
Pero magiging masama nga yun sa sa ibang nag-iisip talaga bago matake. Sila yung malulugi doon. So,
right.
I just hope na balance lang yung oras per turn na hindi masyadong mahaba, hindi masyadong mabilis. Yun lang po.
Right. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, I believe that's almost the same, right? I believe it was mentioned on one Twitter space on Sky Mavis that one of the reason why they put it into the alpha test quite a little bit longer than it has to be on the launch is because they knew that people doesn't even know what the cards are being used, so they had to make it a little bit longer for you to be able to read, because I myself, I simply read all the cards. So yeah, I do agree to lessen it siguro at some point when people get used to it. Secondly is like I would like to see if there in like a multiverse that uh a hybrid in between V2 and V3. It's like a V2 gameplay with, or rather a V2 mechanic with the V3 graphics, something like
Correct.
that. Or
Uh-huh.
probably having a V2 that can be able to utilize eyes and ears cards in a
Yes,
V2
yes.
gameplay. I believe most people would also want to see that, plus the graphics that has been made on Origin, and maybe see it how if that's gonna work, right? It's like for me, it's like food. Like I'll reference McDonald's. So you have this French fries that we all used to love, but you have to put like something in between, like the shake fries, and that's Origin for me. It's like a flavor, right?
Right.
But you don't want to remove the exact ingredient that you have, which is the simply regular fries that you have, like salt and just ketchup, and that's
Right.
V2 for me.
Uh-huh.
So I would want to see them not to totally neglect V2, probably work around it, or much better if they can have both ways and earning SLP in both ways. Like, all right, I choose today to get my SLP on Origin, activate it. And now when you go to V2, you don't get any SLP. Now on the following day, all right, I'll like V2 right now. I'll get my SLP on V2. Or it's like you have a choice. Which
Right.
one do you want? And from there, they could be able to gauge, all right, it's look like people still want to play V2 compared to Origin. And I really
Uh-huh.
hope that happens.
Well, yeah, hopefully Sky Mavis. Well, I'm sure Sky Mavis is looking at it more carefully and intently. I think that's why, like what you've mentioned, they've extended the period of the origins before really releasing it to the public. Now, let's go to Meiji here. What do you
Yeah.
think are the things that they could do to improve Origin?
So nauna, salamat sa tatlong mga nagbigay na ng naunang point of view nila. Yun lang. Pasalamat lang, nasabi na nila. Thank you na lang. Thank you.
All right. I think natakam si Meiji nung analogy ni Rob regarding that mouse
Napa-order nga,
rice.
nakita ko, napa-order.
All right. So, yung last question ko sa inyo, are there any specific future nerfs or buff that you guys are anticipating na will come soon dito sa Origin? Let's start with Rob this time.
For me, I would want to see a complete balance in between Axie and runes. Because I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, runes are being made there for one of the main purpose is, of course, it's a utility. Number two is it's an SLP burning mechanic. I did come across a tweet coming from Geoid himself way months ago, like. The current situation right now, most of us did thought that we have so much SLP, but on hindsight, for the Sky Mavis team, guys, you don't have enough SLP on the updates that we're about to implement, because if we implement this right now, all of your SLP are gonna get gone, and yes, definitely it's gonna skyrocket the price, but you cannot be able to mint the things that we would like to use your SLP in. So for me, I would just like to have a quick a balance on it. Probably not dive too much into the because basically it's already pay to win, right? Don't get me wrong, you have to buy your Axie in order for you to play. But
Right.
if you will be able to craft more, it's like buying Axie, getting runes. It's like a double whammy, right? Like you have to have much. Well, the whales, or rather the people that is fortunate enough to be able to have that kind of cash, will definitely enjoy the game. How about the players that's just gonna jump in? There's gonna be used as like a pawns that gonna get killed in between. But maybe
Right.
that's part of the game for you to be able to invest. But
Mhm.
I would like to see probably somewhere in the middle, that people that doesn't have enough cash could be still be able to compete because they are skillful. I mean, for me, I do have scholars that it's way better than me,
Mhm.
and they
Right,
don't
right.
have the capacity to be able to buy Axie from themselves. Might as well to craft runes for their account. So for me, in order for this to grow, it has to work on both ways. People that has money can enjoy, and even people that doesn't have enough money can still enjoy the game.
Uh-huh. All right. So you want it you're foreseeing a balance between the economic aspect of it and the skill-based aspect of
Mhm.
the origin, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, for me, it's like I'm a fan of esports, right?
Uh-huh.
So, if it's gonna affect the esports side, that you would want to have a better runes, a better mystic runes, then what's the point of being a pro? Is like I just want to have. I mean, the only time that we get on par with each other if we get to have in that kind of those kinds of runes. But
You're
on
right.
the esports level, probably they could implement something like this is the esports server that the runes doesn't matter, or the
Mhm.
runes are already available for everyone,
Right,
right?
right.
And that's something competitive. And most of the time, a game would always rose up into its ranks compared to the other games if it has a competitive spirit. Number one, number two, if it could be able to have an esports. Like now, we have multiple tournaments. We have here in UGG, we already had 3 tournaments for the past couple of months. The All Stars, the 2 seasons that we have in UGG, and it's working, right? And there are
Mhm.
even other organizations that are trying to imitate what we're doing. So it's growing because of esports. And if you
Mhm.
remove those things that makes it competitive, then might be slowly grind it down. I mean, it might not be in the foreseeable future if esports is not gonna be a thing for Axie Infinity.
All right, all right. How about you, Ace? Anything na ina-expect mo na darating in terms of nerfing and buffs sa Origin soon?
Sa rules po.
Oh, sorry, what's that?
Sa rules po, for sure, ano po, possible na may man-nerf. Majority para sa akin, predict ko lang na man-nerf is yung runes po talaga, kasi yung runes kasi yung ano nagbibigay power up sa mga axes. Then for sure dun magbabase yung hindi lang sa cards yung magbabase yung meta magbabase din sila sa mga runes. Kung ano yung magiging meta sa mga axes. For sure yung mga kada runes is merong babagay dun sa specific axis. Kada runes for sure.
Mhm.
And yun
Alright.
lang po.
Okay, okay. Ace? Oh, sorry, Ross?
Personally, I think ang tawag dun, sana wait, yung mismo ano talaga yung cards, sana unlike sa V2 may chance kasing round 1 pwede ka na patayin pero I think it's possible pa rin siya sa Origin. I hope na hindi mangyari yun sa Origin kasi yung I think it's not fun kung round 1 napatay agad nila yung Axie mo sa harap. Kahit mabibigyan ka ng advantage kasi pag hindi kayo una atake, I'm not even sure hindi ko alam kung saan naka-base kung sino una nga atake o hindi sa Origin. So, yun nga. Sana there's no chance na round 1 kaya niyang pumatay. Kaya niyang patayin yung Axie ko. I hope ma-balance lahat yung cards and the rune itself kasi yung mga runes nga nakakatulong yun sa di ba? Nakakatulong sa damage ng Axie mismo. So,
I see.
yun lang po.
All right, so the total damage you're expecting it to be nerfed so far. How about you, Meiji? I think kanina ka pa nag-iisip dyan kung hindi fries yan. Sana about Origins.
Joke lang. Sa akin, parang second part lang nung kay Sir Rob to. parang sana magkaroon ng fairness sa battlefield. Kasi parang kang lumaban ng monster yung kalaban mo tapos chick ka lang, alam mo yun, pagka wala kang runes, wala kang pang-craft eh.
True.
Nakasagupa mo na sunod-sunod puro naka-mystic rune. Paano yung gagawin nun? So siguro gawa sila ng way na para ma-filter yung may mga mystic runes versus sa wala. Alam niyo yun, yung para pag match up sa arena, hindi naman zero runes versus mystic runes na fully equipped na yung magtatapat sa arena. Ewan ko kung possible yun yung pag nag-search ka ng battle, ang imamatch lang sa'yo yung same, although challenger ka, ikaw ang highest na MMR, pero ang itatapat lang sa'yo yung mga same din ng capabilities at yung equipped na rooms and charms na meron yung kalaban mo. Para match lang, cards lang versus cards lang. Kasi kahit anong lakas ng cards mo, pagka equipped to ng mystic runes, mystic charms, wala dudurugin ka.
True.
Isipin mo ako, 700 HP, tapos ikaw walang 300 lang yung tank mo. Paano yun? So, ewan ko kung possible yun na ima-match up yung zero runes at all versus zero runes at all lang din. Tapos yung mga mystic rune holder, yun din yung magsasagupaan sa mga MMR or rank. So, siguro yun para sa akin.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And I'm sure all of our viewers right now are, aside from being excited, you guys gave us an input on what to think about or the things that we should consider before we get into the origins. But thank you guys, and that is it for this episode of CrypTalk. Of course, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'd also like to thank our guests Ross, Bradley, Donato, Ace Daniel, Garata, Meiji, and Rob Luna for being with us in this episode. Now, would you guys like to invite them to your socials, or maybe you guys are cooking more awesome things that we can look forward to in the future? Rob.
All right, I'll go to the start first. You guys can follow me at Rob Luna YT on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. So I'm planning to stream to YouTube on the coming month on May. So you have to watch it out because I'll be rebranding on my YouTube channel. But so far, I'm still streaming on my Facebook account. That's gonna be Rob Luna, nothing else, nothing more. And yeah, see you there.
Meiji?
Ano lang, Facebook lang, Meiji Gaming, mag-100,000 na kasi yung membro ng kulto ko eh. Dati 10 lang yan sila eh. Mag-100,000 na yung membro ng kulto. So baka naman, pa 100,000 nyo na. Kita-kits tayo sa, hindi daily stream, pero sana daily stream yan. Thank you.
Ross?
I don't have any So since lang talaga, naglalaro lang ako. I think promote ko na lang si Ace sa kanyang Minecraft.
All right.
And as well, Sir Rob and Sir Meiji, alam mo na papanood ko din naman sila tuwing nag-Facebook ako. Nakikita ko yan. Yeah, I hope you will support them.
You were part of the UGG coach, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
po.
meaning to say they could be able to reach you on the UGG Discord.
Right.
Right.
Medyo shy type kasi ako eh.
All right, so wait lang guys, we'll inform you on how to reach Ross in a little while. But of course, Ace here, our Minecraft dude, would like to invite everybody right now to your pages since you are now heavy into your own content creation career. So Ace?
Meron po, mais po ba yung audio ko? Sa mga gusto po na manood, kung ayaw nyo ng kung na-stress kayo sa Axie, kung gusto nyo mag-enjoy pa about ibang laro naman sa Minecraft, bisitahin nyo lang ako sa YouTube ko, pati sa TikTok at Ace Daniel, and yun lang po. Madali lang siya ma-search sa YouTube, nakikita nyo naman doon. Puro Minecraft build at kwentuhan tayo doon. Para hindi kayo may stress sa Axie, punta kayo sa akin. And yun, thank you.
Well, looking forward to checking out those socials, guys. Well, to our viewers, of course, you may catch our previous episode on our official United Gamers Guild website at unitedgamers.gg. You may also follow us on our official Facebook page at facebook.com/UnitedGamersGuild or on Twitter at UGG Network. And you can also join our official Discord server and become a part of our ever-growing family. If in case you want to send Ross a DM, this is the way to go, all right? join the official Discord server of UGG. Well, thank you so much again, Ross, Ace, Meiji, and Ross for being with us. And thank you, good people, for watching. Again, my name is Jay, and this is CrypTalk.